All right, welcome back, everybody. I say welcome back, but it almost feels like I'm starting over because I had just started to hit my stride a little bit last year with everything going on here in my channel, and then I kind of lost focus a little bit last year. Quite honestly, last year was not the best year of my life. I tore a meniscus in the spring, and if you've ever tried to be a photographer with a busted up knee, that's a tough way to do the job and get by. And it made for a really long year of work and rehab. I had to end a 10-year relationship with a company that I've been happily working with, but unfortunately, we couldn't come to terms on who should own the copyright to my photographs, and there were a couple toxic things in the way of that relationship. So, unfortunately, as hard as it was going to hit my pocketbook, I just had to let that go. I had a family member get hit by a car we had to go through, and so quite honestly, I was ready for 2024 to come to an end and turn the page, so to speak. Firing this back up is also a little therapeutic on my part to turn the page. I kind of felt like some of the things I like to talk about are not things that get talked about often in all of the endless photography YouTube channels and podcasts and things. The one thing that's not going to change here with me is the idea that you got to do everything you're going to do with intention. You have to have a purpose, know what goals you're trying to achieve, who your client is, what they need, what your vision is, and how all of that incorporates together. And then do you have the skill set, the craftsmanship to actually execute on those ideas? Because it all goes together. You can't be an artist without a certain level of craftsmanship, and I've covered that before in another video. That I'm a firm believer that you can't really be an artist unless you have the skill set and craftsmanship to back it up and execute on your ideas. Then you're just literally throwing some poop at the wall and seeing what will stick and see if somebody goes ooh wow about it. So for me, intention is going to be huge. You're going to hear me harp on that probably every single video in some way or another. Is going to come wind its way back to doing things with purpose and intention. All the technical stuff we can go over that. We'll go over some of that. The creative stuff we're really going to go over because I think that's the more important part. Obviously, cameras are so good these days that if there are no excuses left on the technical side, I will tell you that. It's certainly come a long way from where I started in the 90s on film with manual focus lenses, no screens on the back of the camera to see how you're doing. The technical barrier to entry was pretty steep back then. If you didn't understand the technical side of it, the artistic side was completely meaningless. That has completely flipped now. Now we've got a situation where the cameras are so amazingly good that if you can't make a picture that's worth looking at, it's not the camera's fault. It's not the gear's fault. It's not the light's fault. It's not anybody's fault but yours and mine. So we're gonna continue to talk a lot on that. And from time to time, I might go off on some rant about life things. We'll see how that goes. But for the most part, if anybody out there has any ideas on my handful of followers at this point, if anybody's got ideas on what they'd like to talk about or hear my opinions on, shoot me a note. You can find me. Send me a note and let me know what you'd like to hear my thoughts on. I'm not sure what my next one's going to be, but well, that's all for now. Not a lot here tonight, but just a warning to everybody that more will be coming. So in the meantime, go out there and make a picture worth looking at.